everyone, welcome to the course Knowledge Representation and Reasoning. I am Nagasri, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of CSC Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today I am here to present the Knowledge Representation Introduction. So let us go detail into the what knowledge representation is. And before that, we'll just discuss about what the course outcome is. At the end of the course, students should be able to understand the fundamentals and importance of knowledge representation and reasoning to model intelligent behavior in computational systems. And what is the topic learning outcome here? But for this particular topic is discuss what knowledge representation and what is the significance of the knowledge representation and the importance of reasoning in AI, as knowledge representation and reasoning is a very important aspect in AI. So what are the topics we are going to discuss today? Are what is knowledge representation? Why do we need knowledge to be represented? It's why knowledge representation, and what is reasoning. So now let us see what knowledge representation says. The formal definition says it is the study of how knowledge can be represented in a computer system to mimic human thought and reasoning. So here we are trying to mimic the human, how human thinks, what are the cognitive skills of the human, and how human reason about a particular situation or a particular how human reason about the particular decision. It is a process of encoding information about the world in a format that a computer system can use to solve complex problems, because we human think in a different way and we understand in a different way. But for the computer system to understand, we have to give in the format it has to understand. So it allows AI system to reason, to learn, and to make decisions. Why do the AI systems need to learn any knowledge? So that it can make decisions or it can predict anything. Knowledge representation serves as a bridge between human understanding and machine processes, making it a fundamental aspect of AI. Next, we'll see what knowledge representation or what knowledge has to be represented. So what are the components of the knowledge representation? First thing is facts. As I said, facts are the things which are already we know and which are already proven. So true information relevant to specific domain. And whenever we are talking about the domain, the facts has to be related to the domain. And then a representation. How facts are normally or formally expressed, often using logical structures. So we have here the knowledge representation have some techniques and have some logical structures like frames, structures, and logic based systems or rule based systems. So using those structures only, this knowledge has to be represented. Next come the object. As in the previous video, I told about the object. The agent should know the facts about different objects. As I said, about a car is an object. So if the car is an object, we can even say, or the agent should know what the color of the object, color of the car, and then what is the other properties of the car. Even we can say what is the model of the car or what is the company the car belongs to. All these are related to the properties or attributes of an object car called car. Next comes the events. The actions which occur in a world are called events. Whatever are happening around us, whatever the happening in a particular city, in a particular location, in a particular geographical location, that all becomes the events in the real world. Next is the performance. It also describes the behavior involving knowledge, how to do things. Next, now we know what is knowledge. Now we have to know what is representation. So here representation is a relationship. It is a relationship between two domains, where the first is meant to stand for or take the place of the second. Sometimes it take the place of the second. Usually, the first domain is a representer. It is a representer is more concrete or immediate or accessible in some way than the second. For example, a drawing of a hamburger on a signboard. Drawing of a hamburger on a signboard might stand for a less immediately visible fast food restaurant. So it should represent that there is a fast food restaurant ahead. So by drawing a hamburger on a signboard, a person will know that there is a restaurant coming up. Next example we'll take about the number 7, or Roman numeral 7 also represents the number 7, or the concept of number, that is alphabetical, we are writing in a alphabetical NUMSEVEN is also 7. A figure 7 represents 7, and Roman numeral represents 7, and even in words we are also representing 7. This is one way of representation. The first way of representation was a drawing, right? It's an image also, we can say. And the second way of representation is writing. So this is how we are representing the knowledge we know. And one more example is, for the fact we are saying Charlie is a dog. The logical representation how we are writing is dog, in the bracket we are writing Charlie. Thus means that it represents that in this is the way, like we are trying to make computer understand that dog is a Charlie in a very short representation form. This can we even say that we are writing in a symbolical way. What are the characteristics of writing this? What do we use? We have a syntax and semantics. So clearly defined rules for structure and meaning. What is a structure? The syntax. Syntax is defining the structure, whether the structure is correct or not, and semantics are defining the meaning, how the meaning is taken. Next is the expressive capacity, ability to convey all necessary domain knowledge. How do we express? So this is ability to convey. Next is the efficiency. It supports effective computing and reasoning. So our efficiency is based on how efficiently we are giving the reason about our knowledge. Next is we'll discuss about a scenario in an example. What is the fact here? It is book called X is available in the library. So how is a representation the logical structure? Using the logical statement, this fact can be represented as available. It is a function. Available is a function and book X. So whenever we are changing any book, we can only change the whatever it is there in the brackets. This book X can be replaced with any other book. So this is a logical way of representing the availability of particular book. What are the characteristics we have applied here? As we know, as I told in the previous syntax and semantics, the function available, in the function available clearly defines that it checks for the availability of a specific book. So whenever we are saying the function available, that means this particular book X is available. This is how we are representing the availability of the book in the library. And one more is the expressive capacity. This structure allows the system to represent the availability of any book in the library by substituting book X with any book's name. And what is efficiency? Such representation supports queries about book availability, facilitating efficient information retrieval and decision process in the library's computer system. So in this way, it is very easy whenever the data is stored in the database, whether any particular book is available or not. So by retrieving this information in the logical form, it is very easy to understand and express or make decision that whether the book is available or it is not available. If it is not available, what is a decision that a particular person has to take? Now we will see different methods of how knowledge can be represented. There are two methods, namely symbolic methods and non-symbolic methods. In the symbolic methods, we can use declarative languages like logic and imperative languages like C, C++, Java or Python, etc. Hybrid languages combining both, or it is called prologue. And one more representation is rules. As I said, rules are nothing but if and then. This is the rule that we have to, it is based on these rules. That is, for example, we will say if a person is booking an auto, we can say if auto is booked, then what is the action. If auto arrives, then what is the action? So the person should board the auto. If auto has stopped, then what is the action? The person should get down from the auto. So these are all rule based. This is how we write in the rule form. Any knowledge is represented or any scenario is represented using rules. Next comes the frames. Frames is it's a frame. It's a structure where objects and their properties are represented in a form of a structural form. A frame, it contains a vehicle. This is vehicle. And if this is car, this is a car. What are the properties of the car? It is brown in color. What is the model of the car? So these details can be represented in the form of frames. Next is the semantics networks. Semantics networks already I told that it is a graph based or graphical representation where and it is a relationship driven. So whenever it is as I said, like if it is a graph, it is full of nodes and edges. So how the two nodes are related to each other. So the relation is called a is a relation or has a relation. We can say that the car, if it is a node, this is a node, it has four wheels. Here car is a node and four wheels are node. And what is the relationship? It is has four wheels. We can say the relationship is has. Car has four wheels. And we have even non-symbolic representations also. For example, there are neural networks and genetic algorithms. Semantic networks, these are graph-based structures, frames. This is just defining what here. What are the different terminologies here? Frames are structured templates representing the real-world objects or situations. Production rules, as I said, if-then rules used in expert systems. Expert systems are like medical is an expert system, legal is an expert system. So in the medical system, when we are using this if-then rules, we can even say if high temperature, then it is fever. If high temperature and cough, then we can say it is flu. So these are the things which we help in the medical domain. How the production rules can be represented. Using the production rules, it can be represented. Next is ontologies. Formalized representation of relationships between entities used in search engines. Next is logic based systems. Logic based systems use first order logic and predicate logic. Next, structured representations and probabilistic models, where probabilistic models will be using Bayesian networks, and hidden Markov models are also probability models. Next are the distributed representations. These are all comes under the different knowledge representation methods. Next, symbolic methods of knowledge representations are there is a natural language. It is natural language understanding. We discuss about in the knowledge representation, natural language understanding frames, as I already told. Uh, First order logic, semantic networks, non-monotonic logic. What are the rules? Hybrid systems using different methods or different knowledge representation methods. And then what are the constraints? What is a fuzzy logic? XML or RDF, and Prolog, this is a hybrid system. Bayes networks are the probabilistic model. C, C++, Java, ontologies, scripts, description logics, and proposition logics. These are the logic based systems, description logic, and the proposition systems. Now we have know what is knowledge, and we know what are the different methods of knowledge representations. Now we should know what is reasoning. What is reasoning? It is the ability of the machine to understand the stored knowledge. How it understands the stored knowledge. It depends upon the ability of a machine to understand the stored knowledge. It is called reasoning. And here we are talking about the intelligence. What is intelligence? It is ability of the machine to make decision on the basis of the stored information. So what is here, whenever we are saying reasoning, we can say it is inference. That is conclusion. So after the, like any agent, if the agent knows something, what it should know more. And after getting more information and knowledge, what it will do. So it has to reason. How it has to reason with what it knows. So either this will be a conclusion. After reasoning, it has to be a conclusion, or it has to be a decision making. And this conclusion is maybe for the problem solving. So reasoning is important. That is why it is said that the ability of the machine to understand the stored knowledge. Now here we are talking about the human cognitive architecture. The reasoning is based on the human cognitive architecture. It contains 3 layers. Signal processing is the outermost layer. Neurofuzzy reasoning is the second layer. And the third one is a symbolic reasoning. It starts from the perception. Perception may start with images. And it starts from the signal processing and neurofuzzy reasoning. Signal processing comes from the what we hear and what we see. What we hear and what we see are converted into symbols. And who converts this into symbols? This is done by neurofuzzy reasoning. Neurofuzzy layer converts the whatever our signals are extracted, whatever we see is converted into symbols using neurofuzzy reasoning, and we focus on symbolic reasoning. Our reasoning is symbolic. So what do we cover here? Logic, knowledge representation, ontologies, semantics, natural language understanding, and memory. And all these are used for problem solving and even for the searching. So this is how reasoning, this is how I want to say that how reasoning is more important to make decisions or to solve any problem. For this also, the references for this presentation is Ronald J. Brachman, Hector Levesque, Knowledge Representation and Reasoning, Morgan Kaufman 2004 edition, and then a book by Deepak Kimani, the first course in Artificial Intelligence, McGraw-Hill Education 2013. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.